Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, is supported by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code CLUB at 22. Your balls will thank you. Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. In a week of Old Firm heartbreak, we mend that heartbreak by ironically breaking hearts at Ibrox. I am your host, Scott Carney, and I'm joined by two pod debutants tonight. First of all, Ali Pearson, how are you?
Not bad. Back, I think it was a week ago I did a pod actually, now thinking back on it. Missed the old Firm one, unfortunately. Good to be back though. Feels weird. Good to be back.
And definitely more debutant than you. I don't know if that's the right word. More debutant? I don't know how you say that. Scott Gemmell, welcome back, mate.
It's been a minute, hasn't it? I think the last one I was on was the Aberdeen post match about 2 weeks ago. But I couldn't tell you the last time all four of us were on, so it's going to be a strange one this evening.
As I was saying to you before I started recording, I'm a bit nervous about having the four of us on. And the man who's not missed a beat, has not missed a trick, who's held this podcast together in the other two's absence, is Ryan Haymarsh. Ryan, how are you, mate?
Hi, all good. It's coming back to me who these two boys are. I thought they're special guests. It's good to see them. Just if MD hears a cat meowing in the background, it's because after recent revelations about Kurt Zouma, I've decided not to lock my cat away tonight, so I'm on the cats.
God, yeah, that, by the way, before you get into that, is shocking. Have you seen that video? That is unbelievable.
Horrific.
Honestly.
Unbelievable.
He deserves absolutely everything that's going to come his way. That is absolutely shambolic. It really is. Terrible. I'm not a cat person, but you can't be doing that to any form of pet. That's disgusting. I
just think there's something weird about folk that are cruelty animals. I think there's something dodgy about folk. I always remember folk when I was younger. They were cruelty animals and they're always shifty characters, you know what I mean? There's always something wrong with them, I think.
Yeah, it's just everything about it is wrong. It really is. I'm a dog person, but even at that, like, there's no way I'm going to be putting a cat about. It's I'm laughing. It's not a laughing matter. I'm trying to make light of a pretty horrific situation, but yeah, he deserves absolutely everything that comes his way. Disgusting behaviour. So, gentlemen, before we get into this week. Unfortunately, Ali and Scott, I don't know if it's unfortunate, we won't spend time on the Old Firm game. That's been and gone. Me and Ryan had to suffer that podcast. So kudos points to, massive staunch points to Ryan for that. So we won't be doing that. We will get into discussing a much more pleasing game on Sunday. But before we do, you can now join the channel for 99p to help us and to support us and help us grow. Also, if you're a Club at 22 supporter at the end of the season, you could win a gift voucher for the Rangers store. There's a link for that below this. I think you just click join. I'm sure you just click join and you can do that. If you don't want to subscribe, if that's not your thing, you can buy the podcast a coffee. The link for that is also below. Just a massive thank you to Boyd, who bought us 5 or 4 coffees. I can't quite remember. I really do appreciate that. And also Tommy as well for buying us yet another coffee. Tommy's been superb for that. So thank you, Tommy boy. Thank you, Boyd. And as always, please like the videos and subscribe to the YouTube channel. 2 wee clicks cost you nothing, but it makes a massive difference to us. Sorry, quickly, you need to humour me for another couple of minutes. I need to give 2 shout-outs this week. First of all, I had the privilege of meeting Tom Campbell this week at work. He was very complimentary about the pod, along with having some incredible Rangers stories. I passed a good bit of time talking to him or listening to his stories. It was incredible. And thank you so much for the support. Tom, you really did make my day. You genuinely did. And a second shout-out goes to Blair Ian, who is in the land down under. He was in touch this week with support for the pod. Thank you for the support, mate. And it still blows my mind that there's people on the other side of this world listening to this pod. But, yeah. Thank you for the support, everyone.
Carney, see Blair Ian. He messaged me and he told me to tell Scotia that he works for a company called Scotia Access Systems. So I don't know if you've got a company down under, Scotia, but you might be his gaffer, Scotia.
Is that where you're making your millions, Scotia? Aye.
Yeah, trademarked my name, so yeah, that's me. They pay me like royalties.
Yeah, yeah, mate, definitely. But no, honestly, thank you for the support. And it sounds so silly, but when you get comments and we get people talking to us about the pod, me especially, it's very humbling. It really is, and it's incredible that you want to continue to support us. It's brilliant. It really is, and people genuinely look forward to listening and watching these podcasts, which is great. And that's including the Moonhowlers when we get beat. So do you know what I mean? Everything swings around the boats and all that. But we will start with a rather pleasing result, an even more impressive performance from Rangers at Ibrox on Sunday, which resulted in a 5-0 thrashing of Hearts. And Alfredo Morelos double, followed by goals by Kamara, Arfield, Fashion Sakala, secure us the 3 points in style. A reaction, a performance that maybe caught us all a wee bit by surprise, Ali. Not that we're really going to complain, but the players had to lift the crowd to kind of get us back on side after the disappointment of Wednesday, and I think they did just that.
Yeah, I met Scotia beforehand, and the team came out, and John Lundstram was in the team. It looked slightly defensive. There wasn't much pace in it looking at it in terms of Kent, and I feared a wee bit. And I think a lot of Rangers fans did. I think in the group chat we were all going Lundstram, and everyone in the pub we were in Scotia was going John Lundstram. What's going on here? Then we were proved wrong with John Lundstram in particular. I said to Scotia, especially after them winning 4-0 away at Motherwell, I says we need a win, but we need a performance. See if Rangers had scraped a win on Sunday, I would have walked out of Ibrox still not sure about this team. But I got everything I wanted on Sunday for that Rangers team. I got a win, I got performance, I got a team that they looked hungry, Rangers. They looked back to that team. It was hunting packs, wanting the ball back, and a couple of guys in particular. Morelos, one of the best games I've seen him in a Rangers top. It really is. Not just his goals, his hold-up play, everything about him. Scott Arfield, I thought, was brilliant. John Lundstram to come in from out the cold. I thought he had an outstanding game as well. And it was a great Sunday. And to top it off, the man for Zambia scored as well. So it was a cracking day. But it's been and gone, and we need to kick on from it. We can't just lie in that game now. We need to kick on because we obviously entertain Hibs tomorrow night. So, yeah, it's massive games going forward for Rangers at the moment.
Definitely. Scotia, in terms of reactions, I think we were all feeling a wee bit unsure about how the game would go. You have that feeling in the back of your mind after a result like Wednesday night. You don't really know what to expect. But to get what we got, it's probably set the standard now for the rest of the season.
No, yeah, it definitely has. It was kind of the perfect game of football, perfect result, perfect performance, really. And even excluding the game against Celtic the previous Wednesday, I felt ever since we've come back from the winter break, there was a bit of malaise kind of seeping into the team, and our performances haven't been great since we've come back. So to get that kind of performance, let's hope that that's what we're going to see going forward, rather than the 3-4 games previous to that.
Yeah, I think it's crucial for the team to kind of to live off the high of it, yeah, but to let it hit home to them that this is what they're actually capable of when they decide to perform, and to have a wee bit of belief in themselves and not to be negative all the time. I know there's times in football where you have to maintain possession, you have to keep the ball, etc., but it's more often than not going to work in your favour when you decide to be a wee bit brave. Ryan, obviously we had our reaction on Sunday after the game. So obviously you've had your say on it. So I'll come to you with the first player that I want to speak about, and you won't be surprised to hear, mate, that it's Alfredo Morelos. Now, we do talk about him all the time, mate. People who are no strangers to this podcast are well aware of our love, what's the word? What's it called? Somebody give me it. Undying love for Alfredo. But that performance on Sunday, it cements his importance to this Rangers team.
Yes, listen, he put in that performance that everybody craved from Morelos, and everybody knows he's got that standard. I think I said on Sunday that it was very much like a 2019-2020 performance for Morelos, and his second finish. He was just from the off, so hungry to get on the ball, pressing it, moving about, looking for it, dropping deep, linking the play. His touch was on point. That's probably the best I've seen his first touch in a Rangers jersey. Just everything he controlled was just on point, and he had a great game. It's funny because I think every Rangers fan has a somewhat a love-hate relationship with Morelos, and when he got called up to Colombia, I remember being stunned because I thought he's going to miss that Old Firm game. And that night he was posting pictures of the lineup for the call-up squad for Colombia. And I was like, "You fucking little asshole! How can you post that when you know we're all scunnered?" But then he comes back and puts in a performance like that, and you're like, it's all right, son. I'll forget about that. So he just did a fantastic game on Sunday, and like I said on the pod, that I'm just looking forward to, if that's the way he's going to play from now to the end of the season. I'm looking forward to seeing him every game because he's unplayable for anyone in Scotland on that form.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Ryan there. I think when he does play like that, he is unstoppable, and we've said it a million times, and I make no apologies for repeating it. A happy Alfredo Morelos is a very dangerous Alfredo Morelos, and he looked extremely happy and determined on Sunday. I think it's also important though, Gio has, whether it was started before Gio came in or not, but Gio has whipped him into shape. He's obviously been put in a bit of a training regime to try and maybe shift a few pounds, but he's looking really dangerous now.
Yeah, and we've said it for weeks. He's looking leaner and fitter, Morelos. I mean, since Gio's come in, he's been playing well, Morelos. It's not as if he's just all of a sudden turned up at the weekend there. He has been playing well. I think he scored something like 8 and 10. So he's been playing well, but that performance at the weekend from him that's how important he is to us. We had a wee dig at Cedric Itten, who played a couple of games for us there. You see the difference for Itten to Morelos. Our team relies on Morelos the way we want to play football. He does everything. See him and Scott Arfield at the weekend there. I thought they were outstanding. They're just a link-up play, and they both know what each other's thinking. In terms of Morelos knows that Scott Arfield will break the line. So, yeah, he's intelligent, Morelos. His all-round game is improved year on year with Rangers. He's not just a finisher. It is the all-round game from him. And I think we've seen everything from Morelos at the weekend. The only downside for him was he didn't get his hat-trick. But to me, it was one of the... And he has put a lot of good performances, especially in the Europa League that year Ryan was talking about, where he was untouchable. But that performance for me on Sunday was up there, one of the top performances I've seen by Alfredo Morelos.
I would tend to agree, Scotia. I'm going to pick up on a wee point that Ali said there, and also I seen it shared on social media today when one of the, I'm presuming it was the Sunday Daily Record, that somebody had screenshotted it, and I think it was Lundstram. I don't know who it was that said it, that it's pretty much all or nothing for Alfredo Morelos for us to win the league. And we used to talk about Morelos and Kamar Roof as well as being the complete striker. But if Alfredo Morelos is fit and he's playing like that, you can't have much more of a complete striker. So Kamar Roof might struggle to get game time.
Yeah, I think so. I think at the moment Alfie's for one of the first names in the team sheet, and he needs to be. He's been, like the guys there alluded to, he's been building up to that kind of performance. I think there's been quite a few contributing factors from it in terms of obviously the result we had against Celtic fires him up, but obviously he's went away to Colombia as well, not played for them, so he's probably feeling a wee bit aggrieved, and he's went out and kind of just delivered that type of performance that we all know he's capable of. And the one worry I have is that, like you say, Roof comes in, but Roof's not exactly like him, so I think we need to change your system a wee bit if Alfie's not playing. But going forward, Alfie needs to be playing every week if he's fit and available.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. It was just a complete striker performance. 2 outstanding goals and assist for Glenn Kamara. A bursting run forward from Glenn Kamara. Who would have thought it? But it just highlights just what an integral part of the system he is. And this Rangers team needs. He needs Alfredo. Yes,
I was going to say, I don't know if you got a DM from Morelos' missus Monday, Tuesday. I DM'd her to say if she's looking for somebody to build balloon arches for in the house, you're the man to go to. So I don't know if she get back to you on it.
No, mate, she didn't. No, yes, yeah. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, I came in from work last Friday, and there was just a load of empty balloons lying on the floor, and Mrs. is like, "You need to blow all these up, Scott. Like, we need to get these up for people coming up tonight." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm not kidding on. There must have been about 1,000 balloons or something. And I was like, "You got a pumper that way?" No. So I had to sit there for a good hour and a half just blowing up balloons, and we managed to build a balloon arch because we did a gender reveal. For those of you who don't know, I'm having a wee boy.
You've done a good job of it, to be fair.
To be fair,
that's why I put your name forward.
I don't want to do something like that as a job, man. Like, but obviously, Mrs. is pregnant. You've got to just, yes, okay, darling, no problem. That's no problem. But yeah, thanks for that, mate. I don't want a job as a balloon arch builder. To be fair, but you make a fortune out of it. At some of the prices.
What is that?
What are you doing?
What is that professional title anyway? What is a balloon pumper? Is it?
Balloon pumper. I don't know. I don't know what that would be classed as. A balloon pumper. I don't know. It must be
clown.
A clown. A clown. Aye, somebody that's is it a charlatan? Like, you make an absolute fortune with it. That's all I know. Because from what we bought a load of empty balloons for compared to what they would have been to being blown up by somebody else, it was pretty expensive. Really quite expensive. But yes, let's stop talking about balloons, lads, and let's talk about a man who some people may have thought was a bit of a balloon, but certainly proved a lot of us wrong, and it's John Lundstram. I said in the pod after the match, Ali, you mentioned it there, that I was a wee bit unsure about John Lundstram when I seen the team selection. However, to come into the team and to perform the way that he done, whether Ryan Jack complimented or not, I suppose that's open for debate. But they two especially just dominated the midfield, and it was all kind of rounded off just by that burst and run that Lundstram had made. It was everything that I thought we were going to get from John Lundstram when we signed him. It really was. Obviously, it hasn't really happened for him, but hopefully he can kick on from this. Ryan, John Lundstram, he took his opportunity when it came to him, and as I just said, let's hope he can just continue on that road.
Yeah, if you hear him, I don't watch many players' press conferences, but I've watched his all season, and his attitude is spot on. Like, he won't shy away. He's not a complete little shy away. Like I've said a few times, I think sometimes the occasion or just the job of playing for Rangers has maybe been overwhelming sometimes, and he's put in a few bad performances. You think of that game, he gets sent off. I think it was a European game, wasn't it? He gets sent off and he just had an absolute howler. See, to bounce back from that, then obviously Gerrard's left. That would have been a total scunner for him. To then look frozen out and leaving a couple of weeks ago, to now putting in a performance like that after the way we played against them last week, it just shows what a set of balls he's got. And he's a player, as you said, that's a John Lundstram that I expect. That's a John Lundstram that I remember with Sheffield United a few seasons ago. And if you think of anything that epitomises that, as the run he had in the second half, where he just won the ball and just thought, okay, I'm grabbing this by the nuts here and I'm going for it. And he just kept running and he deserved a goal for that. But he's put in a great performance, and I would say he's one of the first names in the team sheet tomorrow night.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. I think the amount of times you said balls and nuts there, mate, I thought you were about to break into a Manscaped promo.
Well, but his balls will thank him for that performance. I was going to go to that there, but I'll let you do it. I'll let you.
But no, mate, you're right. And I think the way he performed, especially in the first half, going into the second half when he had that kind of burst forward, everybody in Ibrox kind of willed him on to continue to go and to score, because it would have been one of the goals of the season, the length of the pitch that he ran. But I think just a massive respect has to go to the guy, and he's obviously got very good resilience in that sense. Ali, in fact, sorry, Ali, I'm going to go to Scotia because Scotia tends to be more melodical and kind of calmer about things about this one. So Ryan Jack was back, his first start in I don't know how long. Again, I thought was crucial for the way we played, for leading or for controlling things from kind of deep midfield and probably controlling the press, probably making the call for the press. As the kind of leader in the middle of that park. I think he's crucial for us for the rest of the season. I'm not going to lie. But obviously, today at the press conference, it was confirmed that he will be out for tomorrow night due to the tackle that I'm pretty sure everybody has seen. Now, Willie Collum is the picture that I've seen, Willie Collum standing looking at that. A lot of people threw the criticism around now that this is what you're going to get from Ryan Jack. He's not going to be able to maintain a long period in the team. But any player gets injured with that. And Ryan Jack being out tomorrow, again, cements how poor Willie Collum was.
Yeah, it was disgraceful because I was sitting beside Ali in the second half, and when I seen that it was Jack that was down, and he was down for a while after that challenge, I was absolutely shocked that the foul hadn't, not even that a card had got shown, that the foul, hadn't been given. And then you see that it's Jack down and you're like, oh no. But he got up and sort of hobbled off, and then he played on for a wee bit longer. I think I seen someone in the comments from your reaction video on Saturday had mentioned that they sat down in the one of the enclosures and had seen that he'd had an ice pack over his foot.
Yeah.
During the game, sort of once he'd come off. But from Gio's press conference today, hopefully doesn't look overly serious, and it's not the same issue with the knee he's had. But it's a gutter because my team for tomorrow would have been unchanged had we not get that news today, because I think Jack is an incredible player. He's got that drive as well. He set up the goal for, it was a lovely wee slip ball through to Alfie for Alfie's second that he played, and I think him and Alfie always link up really well. I remember back to who were we playing? Was it Villarreal? Where Alfie scored an absolute cracking goal in the Europa.
Yeah.
And it was Jack that had set him up there as well. He's such an important player, and he gets it as well. He's a Rangers fan, and he gets it. Sometimes you can see the difference, in fact, from the Old Firm game, where in the first half we actually looked a wee bit scared and stuff. Jack came on in the second half of the Old Firm and started playing a wee bit better, but not good enough. But Jack starting to on Sunday there, he just drove us forward, and along with Lundstram in midfield, I thought they were both absolutely fantastic and two of the best players on the pitch on Saturday. Sunday.
I can't disagree, mate. I think he's a presence in midfield that we sometimes probably miss, and it's no disrespect to Glenn Kamara, but he's not the same as having Ryan Jack there. Ali, I know you're annoyed about the refereeing standard, and obviously I am more annoyed the fact that Ryan Jack is now injured for this one game. We all know what tackle it was, mate, and no matter what Gio says in his press conference, he can't come out and just completely slam referees because of the way it works in this country. If he does that, he gets banned, and all the absolute ridiculous rules that are there to go along with that. So I can get why he does it, but he does say Balogun and Bassey feel hard done to by getting the bookings. But if the referees had VAR, all that goes along with it, trying to defend him having the criticism. Now, we sit in the club deck, mate. We've got a pretty good view of the game. We look down on the game. I know where Ryan sits. He's obviously Ryan's in the government front. I'm pretty confident, without even asking Ryan, that he knows that Balogun's wasn't a booking, and he knows that Bassey's wasn't a booking.
I mean, we talked about Clancy in the Aberdeen game, and to be fair to Rangers have had a go at that. But to be fair, I've not heard anything back from what happened with that in terms of us pulling up. I think it was 8 decisions, but I mean, you guys went into Willie Collum a bit in the aftermatch reaction, which was good. And I mean, I came into you at half time, Carney, and I says Rangers are playing really well, and I says, but Willie Collum has been absolutely horrific. And I could point to the Bassey booking was never a booking. The one where Joe Rebo's going down the wing, 2 guys try to take him out of the game, nothing. It was shocking, his performance, Willie Collum, and the one when Scotia was sitting beside me with Ryan Jack. That, I mean, it's not even far away. Even the linesman doesn't give it either. I mean, it's baffling at times, and it's the clearest free kick you will ever see. And he just goes, play on. And then literally about 2 minutes later, he actually gives a foul in the middle of the park to us, which wasn't a foul, because I think he knows, oh shit, I made an arse of that. So he gave Rangers that foul. And I heard you guys going about it in terms of, I think Ryan was saying they're not cheats or they're biased, and I agree with that. I don't think they are. They're just not good enough. And Willie Collins in the same group as Clancy and Beaton as well. The three of them, I would put them together. Bobby Madden's, I don't know, slightly better, but it's a sad day when we win 5-0, but we can still have a go at a referee because his performance was absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. And he booked Robbie Nielsen as well in the dugout too. So I don't think he was that chuffed with him either.
No, that's the thing. But the reason I'm probably doing it now is because I don't want it to sound like sour grapes, because you have to call this out, man. Like, it's not good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. And I genuinely do believe he was putting players in danger. And the Ryan Jack one illuminates that. It shines a light on that you put him in danger there, because it's a free kick and it's a booking. I don't care where you watch football in the world, that is a free kick and it's a booking at the very least. I don't believe the Hearts player is particularly went in to try and hurt him. It's just a shocking tackle, but it doesn't make it any. It doesn't. It's still a booking, and we're always going to be looked down on, and it doesn't help the fact that you've got refereeing decisions like this. It really isn't. Willie Collins was absolutely shocking. It really was. And speaking of massive balls, we'll speak about Manscaped. Promo time, everybody. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. This Valentine's Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com, use the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off plus free shipping. The number one product in this package is a Lawnmower 4.0. It has the skin-safe technology, so you don't damage the man veg, and it has an LED light in case you live life on the edge and want to shave your delicates in the dark. To complete the trimming of said delicates, finish it off with the Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. These formulations will have your balls smelling like a king on the big day. Your balls and lady or fella PC podcast and all that will thank you. So go to manscaped.com, use the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. Thank you to everybody that does. Thank you to Manscaped for the continued support of us. And if you buy something from Manscaped and you use our code, you'll be supporting this podcast. So thank you, everybody. Back to Rangers things, lads. You just got off lightly, man. You never need to fucking read that anymore. It's always me. Anyway.
I read it before, remember.
You've been on this podcast for about 2 months, mate. You can just... 2
months. Carney, it's actually opened my mind into maybe challenging myself and buying that one with a light on it, just to see if I can shave them in the dark.
See if you can do it in the dark.
I like a challenge.
Mate, people have some weird kicks in life, man. Like, that could probably be a thing. Try to shave your balls in the dark without cutting them. I'd imagine that's probably a thing. I'd imagine there's a category on Pornhub for that. Anyway, gentlemen, let's go back to Rangers things. Ryan, we did the post-match on Sunday. I keep getting my days confused. Sunday. And we probably didn't highlight Ryan Kent enough, mate. If I think we're both being completely honest, I don't think we gave him enough credit. 3 assists for him, and I say I definitely didn't give him enough credit for how good he was. He was back to showing bits of his absolute best on Sunday.
I think I know Ryan will be watching and listening to this podcast. I need to apologise to him because I shouted at him on Sunday. Shame on me. I think it was Ali that highlighted it in the chat that he had 3 assists. Yeah, I shouted at him Sunday. I can't remember what he did. He checked back and passed the ball back, and I don't know why I've shouted. Probably frustrated listening to the guy behind me. I'll blame him. Ryan Kent, 3 assists. I mean, what can you say?
Ryan, does that guy watch this pod? Do you get any idea? Do you have a conversation with him?
Do you know?
I would just
it's
love
very
it.
funny.
It'd be funny if he did.
It's going to be awkward because if he does, we don't talk to each other, but sometimes I'll turn around and say things to him about the game and he just looks at me and doesn't say anything, and I think, I wonder if he does watch this and maybe he just doesn't want to engage in conversation with me because I'm fed up listening to him shout.
Him all the time.
Aye. that sits in the glove in front will know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, Ryan Kent was brilliant. And see, do you know his check? See the way he checked his run for the first goal? See when Bassey played the ball through, he's checked his run, and it's just a beautiful bit of play. The way he checks his run and plays onto the ball, it's brilliant, and he had such a good game. Back to his best, as you said, and he was unlucky not to score by that chance in the first half as well. Put a brilliant performance in, and that's all we want for Ryan Kent. It's just that you're going to get it anyway, that constant trying. But I think the Rangers fans need to lay off him a bit, especially myself. But he's not going to beat his man every single time. I think we always expect that, Ibrox. He's not going to beat his man every time. And what can you say? 3 assists. If it wasn't Morelos or Lundstram, he gets man of the match, doesn't he? So yeah, he played brilliant on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I didn't give him enough credit for the Sakala goal. I couldn't really remember the Sakala goal when we were talking about it. You know, because it's after the game, you tend to forget some of the build-up that happens. But after seeing it back, I was like, that was terrific. And yeah, he did everything but score. Look, he should have scored. I'm not going to let him off that lightly. He should have scored. Like, it's a bit of a sitter. He should definitely be putting that away. But apart from that, it is everything that you want from Ryan Kent. And it will come, and he will hit his top form again, and he'll hit his purple patch, and he'll be absolutely flying. But Sunday was definitely close to his best. Ali, just quickly before we move on, mate, Aaron Ramsey, what was it like seeing him in a Rangers jersey?
It was probably the perfect day to put Aaron Ramsey on the park. If Gio could have actually dreamt of the day to bring him on, it would probably have been how it went. To be were we 4 up? 5? I don't know, to be honest, what score it was when he came on. 4 up. Yeah, no, it was good to see him on. Couple of decent touches. You can tell he's not played football in a while, though. I could tell it straight away. I don't expect him. Well, Gio has said that in the presser today. I don't expect he won't start tomorrow night. I think he'll start against Annan, which will be an experience for him. Yeah,
the weather looks absolutely horrific for that game.
It does, mate. I've seen it as well.
Yeah, but it's hard to judge a guy that comes on when you're 4-0 up against Hearts. The game's a dead rubber, but yeah, he looked neat and tidy. But I mean, his after-match press conference, he kind of said Rangers and him have a plan in terms of going forward, how to manage him. So yeah, I don't know when we'll see him actually properly start a game in the league, but I would expect him to start at least the first half against Aaron to get more minutes in his legs, and he'll probably come on for 20 minutes tomorrow night if, hopefully, we are 2 or 3-0 up at that point.
Well, you would like to think so, mate. Don't get too far ahead of ourselves, come on. No. But no, I know fine well. Scotia, it has just occurred to me that you've not been on the pod since Aaron Ramsey joined Rangers. Am I correct? You haven't, have you? No, so what's your takes of... We've now seen Aaron Ramsey in a Rangers shirt.
Yeah, it's really pleasing. It's absolutely fantastic that you can tempt someone from Juve, to come in, even if it's just a loan signing, to come and play. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you've seen the scenes outside Ibrox when he arrived, and I think Ali had mentioned when you were doing it, it was flashbacks to when Gaza arrived, in terms of the amount of people there and the fanfare and things like that. So it's absolutely brilliant. I'm not the biggest fan of Welsh people, particularly if Scotland beat Ukraine coming up in March.
For God's sake! Hang on, where is this going? You've been off the podcast for about 3 months, mate, and you're going to come back and off there for saying you hate the Welsh?
It's going so well.
No, just because Wales have gave Scotland drubbings in the past before, and we're hopefully face them in the playoffs later on in March. So, yeah, that's my only downside. But no, absolutely brilliant to have him. He was a cracking player at Arsenal. He's not really featured at Juve, did he? He was out the team for a good couple of weeks before they kind of stopped up in Italy. So absolutely great to have him. And it just kind of reinforces that we're back, and that we can attract these players, because this wouldn't have happened even 2 seasons ago. This wouldn't have happened. It would only have been because of Gerrard. But now I think what people are looking at is and actually seeing, no, this is a good place to go. Ross Wilson's doing an absolutely fantastic job attracting types of players like this. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on over the next couple of months.
on behalf of Scott Gemmell, I make apologies to all our Welsh listeners and viewers. He doesn't mean it. He was only kidding. It was only a joke.
Scotia, you do know Scotland are playing Wales in the rugby at the weekend as well, so...
Well, that's another reason not to like them at the moment.
See that hole you dug, Scotia, digging it deeper here. I can't wait for digging it deeper later.
Let's swiftly move on.
Tonight.
Yeah, let's swiftly move on from that. Look, Gio said in his press conference today that Aaron Ramsey won't start on Wednesday. There obviously is a plan. I will be shocked if he doesn't play at least 70, 80 possibly minutes on Saturday. However, I think it's important to be patient. Look, I don't want to be patient because the signing almost doesn't make sense if he can't really play at least 10 full games for the rest of the season. You would like to think that he could. So, I mean, you're kind of running out of time to get yourself there. But Gio did say that he's happy with the progress that he's making and will slowly get integrated into the team, and then hopefully he'll be starting in the not too distant future. Before we move on and preview the Hibs game, I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about the actual changes that Rangers made, or Gio made rather. He was obviously very happy with the performance on Sunday. Ryan, who would have thought that being brave in possession might actually lead to the best performance of the season and us being able to see teams off quite convincingly? Who would have thought a wee high press might work as well? But look, it's hindsight things and all that, I get that, but the changes that he made is not really changes, if that makes sense. It's what we were doing.
Yeah, it was our style of play that changed, because you look at the team on paper, I think we all did, and we thought it would be slow. We thought players would be staying in their possession and nobody would be breaking the lines, and it was anything but. It was attitude in check, direct play, attack. That's what you want to see from a Rangers team, especially at home against anyone. At home in Scotland, anyone. And we got our rewards, and it feels like the pennies dropped a bit. It feels like the players were maybe looking at each other going, is that how easy it is? Is that how easy it is if we break the lines and we grab this game, score the first goal and then go for the second? That's how easy it is to score 4 or 5. I think I've said a number of times in this podcast, I think Gerrard was guilty of it when he first came to Scotland, of protecting a lead, and maybe Gio has just been a wee bit like that as a manager. I don't expect to see I'd sit back to see her, give her a kick and a slap, will I?
God's sake, cat bashing and Welsh bashing on one podcast. God's sake,
just a wee disclaimer, that was a Kurt Zouma joke. If you don't know about it, have a Google. We had everything in check on Sunday, and the players, like I said, I reckon the pennies dropped. They were queuing up to score goals on Sunday. They really were. And you just look at Lundstram. I don't think Lundstram would have made that run 2 or 3 weeks ago if he had played. I don't think Kamara would have made that run a few weeks ago. And even Ramsey, when I think it's Sakala's goal, even Ramsey's busting forward looking for a goal. The mentality's changed. Yeah, they were hungry to prove a point after their performance, if you can call it that, last week. But yeah, there's just something changed with this team, and that's what I want to see tomorrow night. And it's not going to be 5-0 every week, but that attitude and that style of play is what I want to see from a Rangers team every week.
Agreed. Ali, the pressing was much higher. It was noticeably higher. You could see that we were willing to get in Hearts' faces, and when we were losing the ball, it was like an instant hunt to get the ball back. Hearts weren't really that deep at first. They got deeper in the game, as you would expect, as the scoreline went up. They were kind of trying to avoid a doing. Didn't really work. Obviously, we kind of steamrolled over the top of them. But it's also it's easy to forget that Hearts would have fancied this on Sunday. They would have thought Rangers could be a wounded animal here. We could really go and get a result. So the changes that Gio made have to be plauded, yes, but I'd probably harpen back now to the players. The players' attitude was correct, and this is what we have to see now going forward.
Yeah, you could see a huge difference. I mean, it wouldn't be hard for Wednesday night, to be honest, because Wednesday night was an absolute whimper of a Rangers team that I've seen. But no, there was hunger, there was fighting, that the press was there. It was kind of. I don't want to go back to Gerrard's time, but it's similar to watching that in terms of the way they did press, in terms of the way they hunted to get the ball back and go again. And yeah, Hearts probably did fancy themselves coming, but they looked a bit shell-shocked, Hearts, at first. I don't think they really knew what to do. The centre-half they had, who they brought in the January window there, who was Mark Morelos, they changed him for somebody else because Morelos was just fucking... He was having a field day with him. And Hearts are a decent team. I've watched Hearts a few times this season. They don't really sit back. They'll come and have a go. Barry Mackay, Boyce, decent players. Ginnelly, a couple of other decent players. Biramigi, whatever he's called, in the middle of the park. So
definitely know that.
Well, it's close. Give me a B anyway. the guy that took Ryan Jack out of the game, there we go. I'll say that. He's not a bad player, to be honest. But yeah, Hearts got. I mean, I said to Scotia, sitting there, I was like, who's actually given Hearts a doing this season? I don't think Hearts have had a doing this season at all. And for us to do it was impressive. But yeah, as impressive as Sunday was, we need to go and do it tomorrow night, because if we go to Ibrox tomorrow night and can't do the same, there's no point. We need to use that as momentum and let's kick on and put a run together like we did when we had that disaster at Hampden against Hibs, and then we went on a run. We need to do the same thing again.
Yeah, you're right. It would be, as Rangers fans, we're a fickle bunch, and if Sunday would pretty much all count for nothing if we go, if we have a whimpering performance, or it will be any sort of disaster. And by disaster, I mean a draw, because right now a draw will cause disaster. Rangers Twitter will go into full meltdown if that happens, so it will count for nothing. Scotia, one last thing. Again, what really highlighted the change for me was the first goal. The kind of wee chip ball from Jack to Bassey, and Bassey immediately a first pass, no extra touch that he needed. First pass, straight forward, splits the defence open. Ryan Kent again, first time ball to Alfredo Morelos, and it's a goal, and we've got the opener. That really that was the main highlight to me, that I thought, yeah, we are going to be brave today.
Yeah, that directness of play, because too often we take a check, stop the ball, slow the play down. Particularly see when we're in and around the box and things like that, the amount of times Kamara's sometimes really guilty of this, that he'll check back rather than put the pass on, almost as if you're looking for that perfect goal. That it reminds me of the Arsenal team a few years ago, where they were always trying to almost pass the ball into the net, and I think at times we've been guilty of that in the past, under Gio and under Gerrard. But on Sunday there, it was, well, there's a pass on there, play it straight away and only check back if there's absolutely nothing on. And it was great to see that, because too often we do sort of slow the game down when we're on the break and things like that. So it was really good to see.
Yeah, overall great performance. As I say, we have set the standard now. I think we all agree on that. It's now over to the team to continue to reach the heights. So we'll move on to the next game now, which is another pretty crucial tie against Hibs at Ibrox on Wednesday night. Hibs have not come back after the winter break at all as of yet, and are really struggling for results. Since the restart, they have drawn 2 and lost 3, with the last defeat being a rather disappointing 1-0 loss at home to St Mirren on Saturday there. Currently sitting 5th, very much in a battle with Motherwell, Aberdeen and Dundee United to remain in the top 6 pre-split. So Ali, Ryan, come to you. Your thoughts on Hibs? See, four people on a podcast, and I'm already getting confused at who I was talking to. Ryan, your thoughts on Hibs?
I'm quite surprised at how poor they've been since Maloney came in. I thought that we get a kickstart out of him. I know they lost Martin Benzema Boyle, but I mean, what I've heard, Maloney's a good coach and he comes with a bit of respect. I thought we'd be kind of not flying under him, but I thought we'd be doing a lot better than they are. But if we've got one incentive, it's to put something right after that semi-final. We owe them a doing. It would be lovely to get another 5-0. I don't think it will be. I think they'll come and do what they always do and give us a hard game and put the boot in. But yeah, I don't see it being a game that Rangers should struggle. But what an incentive is to put a wrong right from that semi-final, and also it's a nice thought to think of Hibs and Aberdeen that bottom six, isn't it?
Oh, it's a very nice start. Yeah, I think Aberdeen get beat at the weekend as well, and I'm just saying that especially for my stepdad. Hello, Tommy. And Ali, in terms of, look, we know Hibs aren't going to. They're obviously going to raise their game because they're coming to Ibrox, so you're going to expect that it's always going to be like that. But I think we probably need to agree with Ryan on this one. I'm probably quite shocked that there's been as poor as they have been. I mean, they've lost Boyle, yes, but I mean, apart from that, they've really not shown up at all.
Well, Sean Maloney's noised up Jim Goodwin already because apparently Hibs should have won 5-0 at the weekend, Maloney said. And Jim Goodwin said he was disrespectful to his St Mirren team. And they asked Maloney again today about it, and he basically says, no, I agree, we should have been 3-4-5 up. So obviously, we've never seen that game, so I can't comment on that. They might have well have been, I don't know. But I did say before we played them at Hampden, they went through a sticky wee spell, similar to what you've just rounded off there, Karen, in terms of results. And I went, fling that right out the window. Again, they're one of the teams that I don't care what their form's been previously. They'll come to Ibrox and they'll have a go at us. Guaranteed they will. Maloney, he likes to play this, if you want to call it, expansive football. I did watch them against Hearts. I thought they were poor against Hearts. Hearts should have beaten them. They had 2 penalties they should have had, but Hearts controlled most of the game. Hibs nearly nicked it at the end, but I'll fling their performances the last 5 games out the window. I'm not reading anything into that. They'll come and have a go at us. They're a decent team, Hibs. They always do play football against us, so it should be a good game of football tomorrow night. If we're on our game, we should beat them, but yeah, they're dangerous, Hibs, but Boyle not being there is a big miss to him. I know Ryan said he was like Benzema there, but he was their main man in terms of his pace and stuff, so he will be a bit of a miss for them. But in terms of the last 5 performances, I'm not reading anything into that at all. They'll come and have a go at us tomorrow, don't you, worry?
Yeah, Scotia, I think we need to be a wee bit cautious as well of this game being the spark for them that kind of starts their season off again and gets them going. However, it's quite hard to see past Rangers just now. Obviously, because we're all Rangers fans, yes, but obviously based on the level of performance that we had on Sunday and with the press update today, the press conference, the update of the squad today, the only people that are missing are Hadji and Ryan Jack, so even Hollander looks like he's on his way back as well. So we've got more than a capable enough squad to be beating Hibs.
Yeah, we should be, but I don't want to tempt fate because I kind of agree with Ali there and Ryan that since Maloney's come in, they've been nowhere near the level I thought they would be. I thought Maloney would take them over and push them on, but like Ryan mentioned, I think they're only 2 points above 9th place at the minute. It took them into extra time to beat Cove Rangers in the Cup. They've got Arbroath on Sunday in the Scottish Cup, the next round of the Scottish Cup, so Maloney's under an awful lot of pressure. So I don't want to tempt fate because it is the kind of game that we all know that Hibs will turn up for this one and it'll be a really stuffy game or something like that. Although saying that, we should be going out and putting it past them, similar to what we've done against Hearts there. That way I don't have any worries, but saying that I'm tempting fate as well, which I don't want to do.
Yeah, I'm involved, mate. I've done it all season, mate. I've done it absolutely all season. I think
I don't want to do the alley thing.
I know, no, nobody does, mate. Nobody does. I would be feeling a lot less confident, I'll say, than if it was at Easter Road. The fact that we're back at Ibrox tomorrow night, I think we're more than capable enough. Even if they do try to even sit in, they could try and make it quite a frustrating game, just purely based on their form. I'm not sure that Maloney's not got many defeats left in him before the Hibs fans and start to get a wee bit annoyed with what's going on. So it'll be an interesting game. I think that obviously just the fact that Ryan Jack's not playing's made me a wee bit sad, but that's just me.
Carney, see on that as well, it's maybe a slight blessing because you've obviously got Craig Porteous there in their defence.
Ryan Porteous.
Ryan Porteous.
Ryan Porteous.
His brother.
Ryan Porteous, sorry.
So you've not been a part of
I don't know where Craig came from. I don't even know Craig Porteous.
I'm terrible at names, but even when you said Craig Porteous, I was like, who fuck's Craig Porteous? That's like the time Ali said that Steven Gerrard was playing in goal at one point during that point, and I was like, what is he talking about? Anyway, let's get to the teams and what we think the teams are going to be. Ryan, I'll come to you first, mate. What's your team? What's your score?
Right, I'm going Shagger in goals, Tav, Goldson, Balogun, Bassey. Standard, I think we'll all go with that.
Yep.
In the midfield, I am going Arfield and Lundstram. And then I'm going Diallo, Aribo, Kent, and then Morelos up top to give Craig Porteous a bit of trouble. And I'm going 2-0 Rangers, Lundstram first goal. Go on, Big John.
Go on, Big John. Yes, different from my team, definitely. Scotia, you want to go next?
I'm the exact same team as Ryan. I think pull Arfield back into midfield because I think if you bring Kamara in there, it slows it down. I think Jack gave us that wee bit of drive. I just think I've got a feeling that Kamara and Lundstram might just slow the game down a wee bit. Plus, I felt a wee bit sorry, like you, Ryan. You mentioned at the weekend when we were chatting that you felt a bit sorry for Diallo not starting the game at the weekend there, but I think he needs to start. And I'm going 3-0 with Aribo to score first.
Nice, good team. Still, mine's different from that, obviously. Ali?
Mine's slightly different. McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Balogun, Bassey. Same midfield too in terms of Lundstram and Arfield. I think the same. Kamara, I think he'll slow it, so Arfield will slot in there. It'll be Aribo, Ryan Kent either side of Morelos, and the man for Zambia, I think, is due a start on the right-hand side. I know Diallo's up here for Man United and he needs to play, but I think Sakala deserves to start. And I'm going to go 3-1 because there was spells in that game where we were trying to throw a goal in our goal against Hearts, so probably tomorrow. So 3-1 and Morelos first goal scorer.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Mine's is the same back five. I'm going with Kamara and Lundstram in the midfield, and this may shock a few people. I'm going to play Arfield and not play Joe Aribo. I think Aribo, he's not had a great impact in the last two games, and I think he looks tired. And he might benefit coming on 60 minutes or so. The fact that we can make so many subs, I just think he wasn't poor against Hearts by any stretch of the imagination. He wasn't, but he just wasn't great either. So I think he looks a bit tired. He does. So I wouldn't be too shocked if he gets rested. I mean, I have said before on the last pod, I think he will definitely be rested for the weekend. But yeah, I think they might rest him tomorrow. Just the fact that Kamara scored and Arfield's playing so well as well. I think it will be Lundstram, Kamara, Arfield, and I think it will be Kent, Morelos, and the man for Zambia up top. And I'll go 2-0 Rangers, and I'll say Alfredo Morelos to score first as well. And I'll put it out there now, if we are 2-0 up before 70 minutes, Ryan Porteous will be sent off. Craig Porteous will be sent off before the end of the game because the boy's a clown and all he wants to do is hurt people. So yeah, Ryan Porteous sending off anytime. So that'll do us tonight to have the old band back together, even though I had no idea what I was doing halfway through that podcast because there's all of a sudden 3 of you I need to speak to. Ali, thank you for coming back, mate. And yeah, let's look forward to the game tomorrow night.
No problem. I was working in Aberdeen today, so I was a lot of the guys up there. I speak to our Aberdeen fans. One of them was a season ticket holder at Aberdeen, and he's dreading going tomorrow night, was his words to me. He did not want to go. They are not confident at all tomorrow night. The two of them I spoke to think they're going to get an absolute doing tomorrow night. So, as we all know, Aberdeen will do nothing tomorrow night. So, Rangers fans, do not look at that scoreline tomorrow. But, yeah, no, good to be back. And I'm available for the after-match reaction tomorrow as well.
Liar, absolute liar. Scotia, good to have you back, mate. You've been away a lot longer, but it's good to have you back, mate.
The wee 2-week hiatus, I took my wee winter break, but it's great to be back, and I'll speak to you again. I won't be on the after-match tomorrow, but I'll speak to you again for the preview.
Yeah,
probably my turn to host.
I would imagine so, yes, mate. You need to start putting in writing when you want holidays. I'm getting a bit sick of this, just taking 2 weeks off without telling me. Ryan, the mainstay, thank you very much, mate. And might see you. I don't know what time I'll get Ibrox tomorrow. Might see you before the game tomorrow.
Yes, nice to see you tomorrow. It's good to see the boys back as well. Always a better podcast. We've got different opinions. So I really enjoyed that tonight and looking forward to seeing Rangers smashing Hibs tomorrow. 3 points. Let's go again, Rangers, and get it right up with Craig Porteous.
Yes, Craig Porteous and the Welsh. Oh, fucking hell, we might as well put the Welsh on
Aye, the Welsh as well,
but no, yeah, I know. It was great. It was great to have you back. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, listening to us. Shameless plug, as always. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos, give us a wee 5-star review on Apple Podcast. As you can see, for people watching, along the bottom of the screen has been the charity raffle that we are running right now for the Rangers Charity Foundation. You can win a tour for 4 people of Ibrox, £3 per entry. Just enter through the PayPal link below. All proceeds going to the Charity Foundation. If we get to £100, the podcast will match it, so we can donate £200 to the charity. So please help us reach £100 for the Rangers Charity Foundation, and we'll hopefully give them £200. That'll run to the end of this month. The draw will be made on the 1st or the 2nd of March, depending when I get round to it. But it will be clear. Everybody will know what's happening. So please do, if you can, buy a raffle ticket and you'll buy me a chance of a tour for 4 people of Ibrox. So yes, that'll do us. We'll be back with club reaction after the match tomorrow night. So we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and I'll speak to you all next time. Cheers, everyone.